What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to Powered by Primus and Heroes Rise. We have finally cut to our top 4. I'm going to be posting both matches today, and then we're going to follow it up tomorrow with the finals. It is going to be awesome to watch all of these games. Now, we do have Kevin on the right side of our screen rocking the Starscream deck, and then we have Eric on our right side who has Metroplex. We're going to draw here to see who gets to go first, and it looks like Eric's going to be going winning the die roll. Let's see what he does choose as far as if he does want to go first or second in this matchup. He does choose to go second here just to help provide Metroplex not being attacked 3 times directly. We're getting the cut on the other side of the board. I like how I say board every time, but it's just a table on the other side of the table. Alrighty. Going to flip Flame War for the turn. That is going to turn on that tough one for everybody, throwing Dragstrip in here into Metroplex. He is going to get the trigger, which is super awesome. Orange and blue, drawing that 2 additional cards, not to mention getting in for 1 more point of damage. And then Eric did flip 2 double oranges on that side, so that is going to put some early damage onto Metroplex here. Now, Kevin currently doesn't have a playmat, but I did do some custom art on some playmats, which were super awesome. I will show you guys a picture of that later on in the match. We are going to be flipping Metroplex here to deploy a character. Let's see, I mean, he's going to do a hard flip, but he does have 9 different ways in his deck to be able to transform as well. Let's see if he does try to go for that. Power Punch is going to be able to give us a huge attack here. Now, like I was saying about the playmats, is that Kevin is going to be getting a playmat after this, so his side of the table in the future is going to look a lot prettier. Going for a big hit, it is going to be getting the proc here, which is going to be really huge for Metroplex, being able to take down those other characters, or sorry, tapping them down, so there isn't going to be a big attack coming on the crackback. Flipping those blues is going to be really nice. It is going to be enough to leave Dragstrip alive for the turn, which is very powerful. That means that he's going to have to throw more characters to be able to finish off that Dragstrip later on. Looks like he is swapping a Reclaim there on the right side of the table for a Sparring Gear. He's going to do the tap animation, and then we're going to automatically untap, obviously because of the reset. Kevin is debating here, most likely, yep, if he wants to go for Starscream at all, and seeing if he wants to at least get him ready for an attack, start to suit him up, and then still throw out some little other characters, or if he does want to go with a bigger hit here, with the hopes that the Metroplex isn't going to be able to do a huge crackback. We're going to be playing that Sparring Gear on him, which is now going to turn on tough 3 with the help of the Flame War. Playing a network access to be able to draw 3 cards is really nice. It's one of the reasons why I as well do run Dragstrip and Flame War in the list, is it does open up a couple of stars for something like that card. Choosing to go into Dragstrip yet again is going to be able to flip. Does not get the proc there, which is unfortunate, but getting in for some more damage. Looks like Metroplex is also going to be flipping some double blues, but it's still going to be able to get enough damage in to be able to damage the Metroplex. Eric drawing for the turn. Now let's see that he does have him now in this bot mode. It is really easy for him to do a lot of different cards to be able to flip and get out little guys and then hard flip back into them. Looks like he doesn't have any of those cards here, or he's just contemplating on who he would bring out. Looks like he is choosing to do a hard flip for the turn, bringing out Slammer, doing 1 damage to each enemy. Now, if he does happen to attack with Metroplex later on and get the proc, we do have a Slammer here, so no matter what, he's probably going to be dealing enough damage to get through. We'll be able to see the Pierce only works if there is a leader and on a different character, so he will not be getting that Pierce 1 off of this. So it is entirely possible for Kevin to be able to flip enough blues to be able to survive this attack. Let's see what happens. Flipping 1 for the base, there's going to be the tough one. It looks like it's not going to be enough to get the job done. That is going to be able to KO. And it looks like Kevin here is debating if he wants to go for the Master Plan. Alrighty, it looks like he's going to choose to not go for it. Oh, nope, he is definitely going for it. He's going to be passing up that Reclaim for the Master Plan. The Master Plan is a really nice card in the list. It just makes sure that you're able to plan enough cards when it comes to a Starscream hit, just in case that you don't happen to have a mining pick or an incoming transmissions. It is, like I said, again, really nice because you can put up to 3 crowns on top if you wish, or if you do have a mining pick and need an even bigger hit, you can even plan your entire hand, 4 or 5 cards, being able to get 4 or 5 off of the mining pick plus the crown trigger, so you can get quite a bit of damage off with that card in the list. Plus it's a blue, so it doesn't hurt to have, and finally it's a green, which means you can fish it out if you absolutely need it. Now we're going to see what Kevin's going to go with here. He's most likely going to be attacking with the Flame War this turn just to leave that Starscream protected. He is playing that Reinforced Plating on that Flame War, which is now going to have Tough 3 because of the built-in Tough 1, to hopefully be able to get quite a bit of damage prevented from a Metroplex attack if it ends up coming down to that. That way Starscream can get a big hit back into Metroplex. It is flipping a Crown there on defense, which is a white, allowing him to flip 2 more, and then let's see here what we're flipping on defense. Looks like he's getting a couple of blues, 3 blues on defense as well. So I don't think this is actually going to be able to get any damage in. It's not going to get any damage in on the Metroplex. Oh, looks like we're hitting the table there. I do feel for these guys, they were definitely under quite a bit of pressure, not only being in the top 4, but there was quite a crowd around them to watch them be playing this game. So this was definitely a high-stress, high-stakes match. Alrighty, I do see a work overtime there, and it looks like there is a power punch and a supercharge in hand as well, so he might be trying to go for a nice little hit here. There's a rollout which he's going to be able to deploy another one of the little guys as a free flip for the turn. Bringing out 6-gun, which is interesting, and then attacking with the Metroplex into the Flame War. It does proc the 6-gun's 1 damage onto him, and it looks like he is getting 3 oranges off of that attack. Let's see how this works on as far as the defense. 2 off of the white, which is really nice. He's flipping kind of unfortunate here. Definitely not really getting anything from it. Let's see what else ends up getting flipped. Wow, he is getting all of his white battle icon and orange battle icon cards. He did not get not 1 blue on that flip. That is very, very unfortunate, especially since there is actually quite a bit of blue in that list. Now, it is enough for that flamethrower to be able to survive, which is really nice and kind of needed. The Metroplex might be able to go for it later on and be able to KO her off of the proc, but being able to survive there is actually really nice because it forces Eric to have to go into it again later on. Now we are going to be able to see a big Starscream hit here. This is why it was very interesting that Eric decided to not go with the 6-gun attack and open up Metroplex to some damage. Maybe he was trying to protect him for whatever reason. Going to be able to get that Energon Axe on to Starscream, which is really nice, giving him +3 attack. And this is where that master plan is going to come pretty big into play because he's going to be able to play that card and stack a few on top to be able to get some pretty huge damage on this Metroplex. Looks like he is debating his options and most likely doing some math to see how much he actually has to do, whether or not he needs to plan 1, 2, 3 crowns, whatever the case may be. So he is going for that master plan there. Looks like he is planning 2 cards on top, which are most likely both going to be crowns. And this is going to be a huge hit getting in here. All right, we are seeing 2 crowns. Oh, 3 crowns. So he must have planned 3 off the top, which is really, really nice. That is going to be quite a bit of damage. Let me see if I can do my math right. That is going to be 9 off of the crowns and the 6. That's 15, 18 damage with that Energon Axe on top of it. That is going to be a huge, huge hit. Flipping a double blue on defense was definitely pretty nice. It does allow him, obviously, to save some of his damage on that side of things. And then he's going to be getting rid of a work overtime to pick up a bashing shield on Eric's side of the table. Obviously, with that bashing shield, he's going to be able to possibly break and most likely go for Flame War's armor on this one just to try to hopefully be able to take Flame War out. Let's see what he does go with. He also does have a supercharge there that he looks like he is contemplating on playing. Bashing shield is going to be going in. It is taking out the Flame War's armor, hopefully being able to take it down here. Let's see how lucky his flips are. Getting a white there, so not getting any oranges. I would imagine that, yep, Flame War will be able to survive this attack, especially flipping a white there. And there's definitely a bunch of blues, so that is going to be able to keep Flame War around. Choosing not to go for the espionage in the list. Alrighty, it looks like we are getting a reset for the turn, and it's going to go back to Kevin's side of the board. I'm sorry, the table, which is really, really nice. We're going to be able to see here if he can possibly go for a big Starscream attack into the Metroplex. It's kind of a tough one here only because that Metroplex now has the ability to be able to attack in that mode. And we've definitely seen the Supercharge, which will most likely allow it to proc, which is going to KO the Flame War anyway. It also might not be bad just to throw the Flame War out here, but I don't think that there's really a way for Kevin to get out of the scenario of not being able to deal damage to Metroplex this turn, seeing as how the little characters are definitely going to be able to protect him from Starscream pretty much any other time in this wheel turn. So let's see what Kevin does go with. I do see a mining pick there at the edge of his hand. I still think that the Energon Axe is going to be nice. It depends on how many crowns he does have in hand. But again, if he's going to be going for a big Metroplex turn here, I think he's going to have to play that mining pick to replace that axe. This is definitely a pretty big turn here. It may seem like it's kind of a basic turn, but it really can come down to how well this turn does go for Kevin, and depending on how well the rest of this game is going to go. I think if he happens to go with a bad play here, ends up getting unlucky, I think this will definitely close the door on game one for him, for game number one here for him. So let's see what he ends up going with. Looks like Flame War is going to be flipping, giving Bold out, trying to get a little bit of that extra damage in. And it looks like Kevin sees the same play that I'm seeing here. He's going to go for that mining pick and try to do as much damage to the Metroplex here as he possibly can. And then kind of go on the defense with Starscream, which is entirely possible to do. Looks like he is planning 2 here. Let's see what he did happen to go with. I'm going to guess there's going to be at least 1 crown on top here. All right, we're going to see 1 crown, which is going to be really nice. Also getting an orange off of that. He should be getting the bold 1. There it is. So that's going to put him at 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage, which is definitely no small number. All right, looks like he's going to be flipping 3 blues on that side plus the 1, so it's going to be 4. It's going to be dealing a pretty significant damage over there to the Metroplex. And I think that was just really the best play for that turn. I don't know really where he comes back from this. I think being down the security console on Kevin's side is very, very unfortunate. Not being able to get a couple of extra cards and being able to stack on defense. It's going to be pretty clear here that Eric's going to have quite a bit of attacks going in. And if he does choose to go for the Metroplex attack here, which it looks like he still might be, but deploying that last character, I think that it might have been better there to try to go for a big Metroplex attack onto Starscream, seeing as how if the attack would have been able to proc, he would have been able to get rid of the Flame War and getting 4 straight attacks into the Starscream, so we'll see what happens here. So he is playing that Bigger They Are, which is going to allow him that Pierce 4 no matter what into Starscream. Flipping 1 on defense there is really nice, actually. That does give him the +4. The only disadvantage to it is that his opponent, that actually would have been a really nice flip on defense. Only disadvantage to that is that he did have a Bigger They Are, which allowed that Pierce 4, and it is actually a 1 of in Eric's list. Going to be flipping that Flame War for the turn, turning on that Tough 1, playing Incoming Transmission, allowing him to draw 2 additional cards. He does have to stack 1 on top. It will actually give a +1 on the mining pick. It won't really matter, seeing as how Starscream is tapped down for the turn, but it does still count as putting a card on top of your deck. Alrighty, he's getting in for Flame War there, flipping an orange, going into 6-gun. 6-gun's going to be taking some damage here, but it is going to allow him to survive. This is going to be a pretty big turn here for Metroplex. Now what he's going to be able to do is flip for the turn. There's no point in going for flipping anymore, so he's probably going to be playing the Interesting, the rapid conversion, okay, which is going to be able to break a weapon or armor, getting rid of that sparring gear, and then he is going to be playing that backup beam that he's been holding on to, which gives him bold 2, and most likely throwing him into Starscream here, I think would be the correct play. It looks like he's going for the same thing. He's going to be able to deal 1 damage directly off of the 6 gun, and he's also going to be able to get a couple of, get bold 1 off of Slammer. Yeah, it looks like he sees the same thing. Doesn't get any bold off of any other character, seeing as how they're in the opposite modes. It looks like that did proc the ability. I can't see if there's a second blue at the top of that up there. Getting a pretty big hit there, even on the defensive. Starscream flipping extremely well there. It was just enough. Now, next character is getting in here. It looks like he's continuing his assault onto the Starscream. Probably just a better play just to get rid of the Starscream here if he can, while getting really unfortunate with the flips there. Alright, with that taking it out, it is definitely going to be game over here. Slammer is attacking for 4. He definitely has a chance of being able to survive here, and it looks like unfortunate flips again. He's just not going to... Oh, he does have 4 as well, so that is going to allow him to stick around. We do have a lonely flamethrower going to battle against quite a daunting opponent here. I definitely have faith in the Flame War, but let's see how all of these things roll out. Waiting for a universal network access, trying to dig 3 deeper, see if there's anything that he can possibly come up with to be able to survive. Looks like the upgrades on the other side of Eric's side, yeah, they were just trying to figure out where they went. They do have them in the correct spots. Alrighty, Flame War is getting in. That's unfortunate, getting a double blue on the attack. That's definitely something that Kevin's going to want to see on the defensive side of things. Looks like he's going into 6 gun. He's like, hey, if I'm going out, I'm going to be taking a character with me. And let's see if Flame War is able to take that. Another double blue on the attack. Wow. Alrighty, doing the 1 damage, and that is obviously going to end game 1. These players are going to shuffle up, and we're going to head into game number 2. Alrighty, it looks like these players have finished the shuffling and cutting, and it looks like, let's see who's decided to go first here. Looks like Kevin did decide to go first for the turn, flipping Flame War and attacking in with Drag Strip. Getting those double blues on attack, not being able to proc Drag Strip is going to hurt a little bit, not drawing those 2 additional cards. Alright, he's going to be going for a hard flip for the turn, playing a power punch. Let's see if he's going to be able to get the proc much like he did in game 1. We already see 2 whites flip there and more whites. We do have an orange and a blue. More whites and then another orange. So he's not going to be able to get the proc here. They just flipped. There was a lot of whites that he did get on the flip there. It's very unfortunate. The tough 1 on over onto Kevin's side is going to be really nice, especially flipping a white means that that Drag Strip is only going to be taking 3 damage and stick around, which is pretty important. Kevin getting his flip for the turn, flipping that Starscream. Let's see what kind of setup he's going to go for here, seeing as how he gets 2 attacks into Metroplex. Going for a force field onto Starscream most likely means that he doesn't have a mining pick or anything in his hand. Oh, he is going for a security checkpoint, revealing absolutely nothing on his side. Took quite a bit of grip away from Eric, leaving only that escape route, which obviously is going to be his plan going into the next turn, being able to get a free flip, deploy a character, and then get back into his bot mode. Super unfortunate for Kevin here to not really have any ways to be able to get any crowns or anything here. Let's see what kind of attack he does get. Looks like he flipped 2 mining picks on the attack, so I was going to be able to put both of them in the scrapyard. Doing some quick math here, it looks like Starscream is getting in for 8 minus 2 is going to be 7 damage. Yep, going to be 7 damage onto the Metroplex. Flame War as well getting in here. Now there is a master plan that did just get flipped there. And see if he chooses to go for it. It looks like he doesn't. Now, the problem here is that Kevin is actually really fine. He doesn't have to bother going for one of those. The next turn, Eric is going to be doing a little baby attack, and then Kevin is going to be able to flip Starscream to possibly get one of those cards back from his scrap pile. That's the other half of Starscream's card and why he's so powerful. There is the escape route we talked about previously, deploying a character, putting out that slammer, doing 1 damage to each person. And then Eric will most likely be doing a hard flip for the turn on the Metroplex. Let's see if he does go for that to at least set up. He does go for it, flips him back into his bot mode. Oh, he is going to be attacking with Metroplex and a backup beam. There it is. Did top deck a backup beam. Pretty lucky for him. Let's see if he's going to be able to get this proc. And let's see who he's going to be going into. That is going to be bold 3 on that Metroplex, seeing as how he does have a 1 off of the slammer as well. I would imagine he's probably going to be trying to target Drag Strip here. Let's see who he does go for. Wow, looks like Eric is getting very unfortunate with his flips on this turn, only showing blues and no oranges. Looks like he went into Flame War for the attack, not dealing a whole lot just because of only flipping those blues on the attack side of things. Kevin is definitely getting very lucky here with those flips and his characters not getting tapped down. Now it does also expose Metroplex to a pretty big attack here if he does choose to go for it. The other thing is that Kevin might want to do is just throw out a little character, seeing as how there's only going to be 2 little characters to attack left and Metroplex is already exposed, so there's definitely no rush. Now we did see him flip the Starscream there, most likely bringing back a mining pick so he can do a big plan and attack with Starscream later on. Going for a treasure hunt just to dig a little bit deeper, see if he does get lucky. Looks like there is quite a bit of good stuff in his hand there. No crowns, which is a little unfortunate, but it did give him plenty of stuff. Now Kevin was also smart there and played the treasure hunt before playing an upgrade for the turn, just allowed him to see more cards, which allows him more options when it comes to playing them. The real debate here is what his attack is going to be. He can easily start to armor up or buff up the Starscream and attack with another character. There's definitely no rush at this point for him to have to attack. There are no ways of untapping the Metroplex, so he knows that his Metroplex is going to be tapped down for the remainder of this cycle. So he's chosen to go with the security console, which a lot of people don't know is actually one of the most powerful cards in the matchup or in the deck. It does allow so many extra cards to be drawn, and then allows you to put crowns on top. And especially if your Starscream is being attacked multiple times, that thing starts to get extremely nutty and out of hand for your opponent. Now we're going to be flipping Metroplex again, deploying a character. It looks like he's deciding on which one he wants to go with. He does choose to go with the 6-gun. Looks like Eric does have something decent in his hand, but he's just not ready to play it yet. He's going to be throwing Slammer out into Drag Strip. That is going to be 4. Now there is flipping a crown there, which is nice. Getting that tough one. 2 crowns, in fact, off of that. Kind of unfortunate that 2 crowns were flipped there. It is going to allow Drag Strip to survive this turn because of the network access. Looks like he's getting rid of a mining pick for a crown, which means that he did get a original mining pick from the Starscream flip and then did pick up that second copy from the treasure hunt. Looks like Kevin here is deciding if he does want to go in with Starscream for a big hit, and it looks like that is going to be the start of his plan. He still might possibly throw out Flame War. It's just nice to put Starscream back into that mode. That way, if you have to flip him on the previous turn, that you can still get that ability. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference here as far as like what he chooses to attack with. The only benefit to attacking now is that next turn he's going to go for a reclaim, which is going to be putting a crown on top, which means he's going to be going for a big Starscream hit here. I have yet to see him play the mining pick. He does still have an upgrade for the turn, so let's see if he does choose to go with it. He does play the mining pick for the turn. Now we do know for sure that there is a card on top of his deck. Alrighty, and he's going to be getting in there. It looks like he chose not to plan. He's going to be keeping that other one in his hand on the back burner for defense. It is going to be a pretty big damage hit going into Slammer here. It looks like he's just trying to start to pick off the little characters. Those things can definitely get out of hand and tend to do quite a bit of good things for Eric and his Metroplex. Let's see what he does choose to go with. He's going to be flipping for the turn, most likely probably having an action that allows him to flip back to his other mode, getting out another one of the little characters. I am looking at a Power Punch and a Bashing Shield is what it looks like. Looks like he's probably debating the Bashing Shield. Yep, he is indeed fact debating that, and that is going to break the force field. Not a huge problem, seeing as how he does have a crown in hand to be able to plan on top with that security console. Six Gun is attacking here. Let's see who he's choosing to go into. He's most likely going to choose to go into Drag Strip, as I don't really think he's going to be able to get any damage into the Starscream. Flipping two blues. Oh, looks like he did go into the Starscream. I don't know if that was the correct play there, seeing as how it does allow him to draw one additional card and then put the crown on top, meaning he's definitely not going to be getting any damage in for the turn. It looks like Kevin doesn't even bother stacking a crown on top. He does get one anyway through a natural flip. Probably did the math to see that he only had a few cards left in his deck, knowing that one of them was a crown left over. Alrighty, drawing for the turn after obviously going for the shuffle. Plays another force field onto the Starscream, definitely evaluating that Starscream as his big primary character. Obviously that is going to allow him to help. Now, Six Gun does not have the ability on the other side where he does get to break a weapon or armor. That is the last character that is stuck under Metroplex. Looks like he did go for a ramming speed to be able to break that backup beam. It looks like Kevin here is deciding if he wants to send Flame War into Metroplex or into Six Gun. Based on him going for a ready Slammer, he's probably going to be going into Six Gun, and it looks like that is going to be the case. Alrighty, getting our cut, flipping again for it. Not getting any blues, and allow a couple of bits of damage to get in there. That's going to be the really unfortunate part about the way that this attack sequence is kind of worked out, is that he's going to be able to straighten it out. Metroplex is going to be able to be protected for the turn, even after he was definitely left hanging out there. So let's see what Eric does. He might just go for a flip to be able to deploy the last little character and try to probably pick off the drag strip. Going for a Power Punch, it looks like he's trying to set up for a big attack, and it looks like that's what the plan is. He's going to be dealing 1 damage to the defender, which is going to be Flame War. Possibly being able to get this to proc here. He does have 2 whites there. We do see 2 blues, and he only needs is 1 more orange, and it does not get the proc off of the Metroplex. It is super unfortunate. I will admit I've watched Eric play this deck pretty much all day, and he definitely was getting tons and tons of these procs. So it is very unfortunate for him here in the top 4 to not be getting these abilities. It looks like Kevin did flip extremely well on that side, only adding 1 damage to the Flame War. And again, we're back to the scenario here where that Metroplex is left out, and it's going to be Kevin's choice whether or not what he wants to do with that. Now, obviously, he does have to attack in a Metroplex this turn, seeing as how it is the only tapped character on Eric's side of the table. But let's see if he does choose to go for a big hit, or if he does choose to send out one of the little guys. Looks like he is sending Drag Strip into Metroplex, not getting the proc, seeing as how he flipped 2 blues. It isn't either going to get... Nope, looking at the blues that were flipped on defense, it's not going to be getting any damage in either. Eric here is debating if he wants to go for a backup beam or not, and it looks like he is choosing to go with it, getting rid of a Power Punch for the backup beam. Big difference there is obviously the Power Punch does give bold one more bold than Backup Beam. However, Backup Beam gets to stick around. Now looks he's going to be doing his last flip, deploying his last character. Now that is the character that when he flips to his other mode is allowed to destroy a enemy weapon or armor on the other side of the table. So it is going to be a matter of trying to take care of that character before he gets to do it and really set that Starscream back, whether or not it's the mining pick or the force field that he does choose to go with, either way. But because he is untapped, he's not going to be able to attack into him. Looks like Six Gun is going in here in the drag strip, flipping a couple of oranges. And it looks like not choosing to go for any of those cards that were flipped, and it does allow Dragstrip to survive, not taking any damage. Six Gun just does do quite a bit of damage off by himself, as he only has 2, I believe, in that mode, so even flipping 2 oranges only puts him at an attack of 4. Going for an espionage, he's going to be hopefully calling blue at this point, would be my guess. He knows that he does have the backup beam. If I was ever going up against the Metroplex deck, one of the big cards that I would, or one of the big colors that I would choose is probably green, seeing as how you're going to see a lot more cards in that list that are green, probably giving you a better chance, or at least more options of cards to be able to scrap, unless you're trying to go for something very specific. Look like Kevin here is debating on what he wants to do, whether or not he wants to throw Flame War out there. Either way, that character, yep, he's going to be able to get an attack here, and he is planning 1, which is putting a crown on top. It might not have been a bad move there to flip Flame War to try to get bold 1 out for the turn. I don't know if the tough one's really going to be able to make a huge difference at this point. The bold one might have been nice there to see if he flips an additional crown. I also can't see what his scrap pile looks like or how big his deck is. There might be only a few cards left, and know that he wasn't going to be able to get another crown off the attack. There's the flip for the turn, which is most likely going to be choosing to target the force field, which it looks like it does. And is going to be attacking into Dragstrip. He's really trying to take out Dragstrip here, seeing as how Dragstrip just keeps surviving by just barely enough. That is a bunch of oranges that is going to be able to attack there. It might be enough. He is flipping a double blue on defense, and it is just enough, the 2 last damage, to get through and to be able to take out that drag strip. It looks like Kevin here is debating about the master plan again. Now we know Flame War is going to be able to get an attack here. It's going to be interesting to see which character that he chooses to value. Like I said, Kevin's been going for a lot of the little characters to try to get them off, so my guess here is that his Flame War is going to be going into Scamper. With doing that, it is going to end up being kind of probably a 1v1 in the end of things, with Metroplex going up against Starscream. He's playing a mining pick onto Flame War, obviously just trying to get as much damage in as he can. He is choosing to plan 1, probably put a treasure hunt or a ramming speed on top, just trying to ensure an extra bit of damage. He did put a ramming speed on top, so that is going to be getting in for 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. Flipping a couple of blues is going to allow it to survive for the turn. Not that bad. He does have cards in the deck such as Marksman, which might be able to do that last 2 points of damage to take out one of the little characters. We're getting a reset for the turn. Eric is doing a flip for the turn, flipping Metroplex, getting him into his bot mode. He is playing Backup Beam and Work Overtime. Work Overtime is definitely going to be really nice, allowing him to draw 3 cards there. That Backup Beam is also going to be able to give him Bold 2 in this mode. Now he is going to be losing Bold off of Scamper being in his bot mode, so we'll see if he chooses to attack with him this turn, or if he chooses to attack with Scamper first. Alright, he is choosing to attack with Metroplex, and it looks like he is going into Flame War. Looks like we are getting the cuts for the turn. We're seeing a double blue there and a white battle icon. It is a good start. Should be flipping a couple of more. He did get a white, which should allow him to go. And that is a, did not get the proc yet again. He is 0% for those Metroplex flips in game number 2 here, which is super unfortunate. This is going to be enough to allow Flame War to survive here. It is going to, he did put 10 damage on the Flame War. I'm pretty sure it's 9 damage, so we'll see if they do go for the correction here on the die. It looks like, oh, they're going for it now. That is taking Flame War up to 9. Starscream is going to be getting in here. He is planning to trying to get a bunch of damage in. He is starting to realize that he is going to have to take down that Metroplex. And definitely attacking for quite a bit here. I believe that is 15 when you do the math on that. It is 6, 7, 8, 9. It is going to be 15. Quite a bit of damage getting in there. Only flipping 2 blues on defense, which is going to mean that 13 damage is going to be getting through. Playing a Matrix of Leadership is going to give that +1, and then is going for that Bigger They Are, which is going to allow that Pierce 4. Alrighty, also getting a 1 orange battle icon on the attack there. Kevin is going to have to activate his security console to allow him to draw 1. It's not going to make a huge difference here about what he chooses to stack on top. You can go for a crown if you have an extra card, but the Pierce 4 is going to kind of make putting a crown on top irrelevant. It looks like he's going for putting one on anyway just to make sure. I think he, oh wow, that is a lot of crowns on top. It would have been really nice if he wouldn't have had the Pierce 4 there. He wouldn't have been taking any damage, but that Pierce 4 is obviously going to get through, bringing Starscream up to 5 damage. Playing an incoming transmission, allowing him to draw 2 and put 1 on top of his deck, which is going to proc the mining pick. You guys can see there that this is going to be pretty relevant. My guess is that he's going to go into Scamper here, probably being able to try to finish him off as my guess. You're really going to want him taken out before he does get to untap with it. Flipping no blues on defense is going to take Scamper out of the mix of things, and it looks like it is going to come down to Starscream and Flame War going up against Metroplex. The security console onto Flame War is also going to be nice. It's going to allow him to draw 1 more on defense. Looks like Eric here is going with a supercharge. That's going to put him up to bold 5. We're going to see who he's going to go after. Most likely going to be going after Flame War here just to try to take her out of the mix of things. I think going after Starscream would be a bad idea, seeing as how he's probably not going to get the KO. It looks like he... No, it looks like he definitely went into Flame War, and it looks like Kevin wasn't even going to go into it. It automatically was going to be what it was. I guess he did proc the ability. Oh yeah, it looks like he did proc the ability. That was the last 1 point of damage that was going into Flame War. He did just draw off the security console and put a crown on top, and it looks like Eric did go into Starscream here. They're doing some math, and it looks like Starscream's going to be taking 3 points of damage, plus the 1 off of the triggered ability. He's going to be getting rid of a marksman there to be able to pick up a crown. And this is what I was talking about earlier with it being Starscream versus Metroplex in a one-on-one scenario, and we're going to see who comes out of this one on top. Looks like Kevin is going through his scrap pile. Putting a crown on top most likely means he has a reclaim. He does have a reclaim, which allows him to put that crown on top of his deck. Now, it does also, I believe, proc the mining pick. It looks like he does plan 1 anyways, which is going to allow him to flip 2 crowns here, getting in for 14 damage. Only flipping 2 blues on defense means that he has 3. He should be taking 11, which is going to put him up to 29 damage. Now, it's all going to be a matter if he's able to survive this attack from Metroplex. If Kevin can survive this attack, then he's going to be able to take game number 2. Looks like Eric's going for a power punch, really trying to seal the deal. He knows that this turn is his turn to win the game and advance onto the finals. Looks like he is doing some math and he's making sure that he has enough cards in his deck to either help proc for the ability and get that extra 1 point of damage, or he might just be double checking his orange battle icon cards to see how many he's going to have left in there. Looks like he is attacking there, and he is going to be getting a couple of one double orange there. A white's going to allow him to flip 2 more additional cards. He is going to get the proc, which is going to deal 1 damage directly to Starscream. Looks like we're getting in here for 6-9 damage in total. I believe he does have to flip 1 more card as well. 2 for the base, 3. Oh, he does have to flip 2 more cards, so we'll see how this pans out. Not getting any more oranges is going to allow him to be able to not deal a whole lot of damage. We're going to see here what Kevin does choose to do. He does plan 1 on top. Now, don't be alarmed by this, guys. The camera did overheat, so it did lose the rest of this match, though. I will give you guys just a quick breakdown of what happened, is that the Kevin was able to survive with Starscream only having 1 health left, and he did attack back, which KO'd Metroplex and sent us into Game 3, which don't worry about it. We do have Game 3. I obviously had other cameras with me, so let's get into Game number 3. Alrighty, folks, we're getting into game number 3 here. It looks like Kevin is going first, choosing to go for the classic flip Flame War and probably attack with Drag Strip. Looks like that is the plan. He is flipping top 2 cards, getting double oranges here, not getting the proc, which is unfortunate, but that is 2 extra damage. It looks like with that 2 extra damage, the double blue on Eric's side means that he's not going to be taking any damage onto his Metroplex. Oh, he's looking at a character there, which means he most likely has some shenanigan to be able to get it out this turn. He does have a rapid conversion, which allows him to flip. Let's see what character he chooses to go with. Usually Slammer is their first choice, but he is choosing to go with 6 Gun here. 6 Gun does give Bull 2 in his bot mode, and then also does allow that 1 extra point of damage when it comes to attacking, which looks like is what his plan is here. The 1 damage directly done to Drag Strip, and then we're going to be flipping there, and it looks like we are getting a white battle icon card and blues, but did not get the proc, although he is in his alt mode, so the proc wouldn't have done anything anyways. Getting a bunch of blues there to flip on defense means that that Drag Strip is going to be able to survive. In fact, he didn't take any damage. That is pretty impressive. Alrighty, flipping a Starscream for the turn. It's definitely very interesting. I've seen tons of people, going with a network access drawing 3. I've seen tons of people playing Metroplex, and I will admit Eric has a very, very good handle on the deck and actually knows a lot of interactions when it does come to it. He's definitely the best Metroplex player that I have indeed fact seen. Some of the deck list options are a little interesting, but as far as playability, he definitely has a very, very good idea of how to play the deck. Looks like Flame War was getting in there for some damage, and it did happen to get a couple of points of damage in. Alrighty, Eric's going for a flip for the turn. It looks like he has another shenanigan and is another rapid conversion to be able to bring out yet another character, choosing to bring out Slammer, dealing 1 damage to the enemy team. Those little extra points of damage that Eric is getting out is definitely really hurting Kevin. It is definitely a little unfortunate, but Kevin did get really lucky game 2 there with a lot of Eric's flips. It looks like 6 Gun is armored up with a force field and is going into battle against... Looks like he himself is also choosing in which character he wants to attack there. Looks like he's going into Flame War. I love him pointing at the character he wants to attack. Makes it a lot easier for me. Getting some oranges there on defense, but it looks like Kevin is way more matching him on blues. That is not going to be getting any damage in on Flame War. Really nice flip for Kevin there. Looks like they moved all the cards aside, and it is Kevin's turn, drawing for the turn, and it looks like he's starting to go into the tank and see exactly what his process is on who he should attack into. Now, with that force field being on 6-gun, it means that Starscream is not going to be able to KO 6-gun this turn, so let's see if he does choose to value to go for that attack, or if he just sees it. Oh, the ramming speed is going to end that with the force field, and it looks like he's definitely evaluating that he does want to go into the 6-gun and kind of play the same game he did game 2. Oh, looks like he's going with the handheld blaster, which does give bold 1 to Starscream, hopefully allowing him to be able to flip a crown. Let's see what he does get out of it. A white wins. He also will get to flip 2 additional cards. There is the bold 1, not getting a crown, but still getting in for 7 damage. That is going to be enough to KO 6-gun, which is really, really fortunate for Kevin. He's definitely got to be happy with that. Unfortunately, he didn't get a crown to flip to be able to get into his hand, but at least being able to take out that character is beneficial. It does seem like he is evaluating the match far more as an attrition match, and that he needs to just be the last one standing with the character and just let Starscream does what Starscream does. Eric's going to be flipping Metroplex, which is definitely your play that you should be doing pretty much every turn, is trying to flip Metroplex to always be deploying those little characters, seeing as how they actually do a whole lot for you in the match. Playing Power Punch and Work Overtime again is going to allow him to draw 3 cards. It is a super, super good card in the list, allowing you to refresh your hand, plus it's a white battle icon. The Power Punch on there is just setting him up for next turn with the Metroplex, meaning he most likely has another upgrade he's going to want to be able to play, whether it's an armor or whatever the case is. Flipping there with Slammer and an orange, going into Flame War. I'm pretty sure he's going into Flame War here. He did flip a crown, and then that's going to allow him to flip 2 additional cards, and then obviously it's going to be taking some damage. It looks like he did choose to go into... maybe he chose to go into Starscream there. I didn't really get to see who he did choose to attack. Kevin's not putting any damage counters out there, so either way, he's not taking any damage from that attack. It looks like he's swapping out a Reclaim to be able to put a crown into his hand, and they're going to be resetting for the turn with Kevin being able to go. Kevin's really going to have to try to find a way here to be able to plan with Starscream, or he's going to find himself in a really bad situation. Looks like he's just not getting very fortunate with any mining picks or any security consoles to be able to set up some of those effects. He really needs to be trying to get as much damage out as fast as possible, obviously with Starscream. Now, luckily, he still does have 2 other characters that can take the brunt of the beating while he does get to still set up, so he is very far from out of this game, but it is definitely the route that he needs to start taking if he is going to take game number 3. Looks like he is looking into his scrap pile, which means he's most likely trying to decide if he does want to flip Starscream this turn and be able to get something back. I don't know if we've seen any mining picks or anything flip. He is going for a treasure hunt here, picking up an Energon Axe, which is pretty nice, and a sparring gear. It is going to be pretty decent there. It was really unfortunate that he did happen to also flip through the master plan there, allowing him to not pick that up. Going with an Energon Axe onto Dragstrip means he's most likely being going for an attack here. That Pierce 2 isn't going to be able to get the job done on Slammer. Let's see if the attack damage that he's going to be doing. My guess is that he's just going after Slammer here. And it looks like flipping those 2 oranges on defense is going to mean that that Dragstrip is getting in for 6 damage, which is going to be exactly 3 to take out the Slammer. I think the way that Kevin is playing this matchup is actually very smart. It's allowing him to take out the little characters out of the way and then hope that his characters can survive to where it can come down to those last final fights. It's going to be interesting to see how all this plays out, but I'm not going to lie when I tell you that I'm actually really enjoying watching this as well. Going with an escape route, which is going to allow him to flip a Metroplex. It's pretty crazy. He's been able to play 3 different cards to be able to deploy all 3 characters. Eric has gotten super lucky with all of those abilities. However, he does run 9 cards in the deck that allow him to do it, so I guess it can't be too far of the stretch of the imagination to be able to proc all of these abilities. And it looks like he is going to be going in with Metroplex. It's definitely one thing as interesting plays is that he's definitely throwing Metroplex out there far more often and protecting the little characters, whether or not he does notice. Oh, looks like we are getting oranges and blues, but no whites. There is a bold one. Oh, there is a white, and he did not get the proc again. He is definitely getting very, very, very unfortunate with these flips. It is definitely crazy to see this go down, especially with as many cards as he's flipping in an attack. Looks like he is swapping a roll out there for a backup beam. It was enough damage to obviously KO the drag strip. There's lots of oranges flipped there, so that is going to be able to take him down. Drawing for the turn, it looks like Kevin drew a crown for the turn. Now the thing is, he still has yet to get a way to be able to plan, so it might be really interesting here for him to flip Starscream, be able to pick up. Looks like he is going for an incoming transmission, trying to dig a little deeper. He's really trying to find a way to plan cards here, as he definitely needs to find a way here. What I was saying previously is that he might be able to attack with Flame War here and flip Starscream to be able to pick up a card from the scrap pile. You can even go for a master plan, as it is a card that does allow you to plan, so it is entirely possible for him to go for that route, and just in case there isn't a mining pick in there. Looks like he's moving him aside. He might have an upgrade here, but it is a sparring gear, which is going to give him tough 2. And it looks like he's going to throw the Starscream in here. He's going to open him up. He does have essentially tough 3. Being able to flip a crown there on a base attack is actually pretty nice. And that is going to be able to give him 9 points of damage getting in. Let's see what Eric does flip on the defensive side of things. Someone did point out there that it looks like I did forget that the handheld blaster does give bold 1, so it did allow him to flip 1 more additional card. And it looks like he did flip 3 blues on defense, so that's going to be a total of 4, which means he was going to be taking 5 damage there. It looks like Eric is deciding if he wants to go for this backup beam or not. Kevin is going to get rid of a reclaim for a crown. Again, he just has to find a way to be able to get those crowns out of his hand. I definitely think he is fully loaded with 3 crowns at this point, though, so that when he does choose to get a mining pick and go for a big attack here, he's definitely going to be able to do it. Playing a Bashing Shield on the opposite side is going to be able to get rid of that sparring gear. He's going to be able to throw this Scamper here after flipping it to get rid of the handheld blaster, seeing as how it's a weapon. He's going with that one of the bigger they are, which has done so much work for him in this match, into Starscream. Getting a couple whites there means he's going to be able to do some more damage. Oh, I was under the impression that Master Plan was in the scrapyard. I must have shuffled his deck at some point. And there is a mining pick again going into the scrapyard. Benefit here is that he is going to be able to swap a card for that Master Plan, which is going to be really nice on the wheel turn when he is going to be able to attack with a big Starscream hit. Looks like that is the route that he's choosing to go with here. Drawing for the turn. Now again, this is going to be a good chance for Kevin to be able to flip the Starscream and get back the mining pick. The only disadvantage to it is that when he does flip for the turn is that he won't be able to proc the ability from crowns on the defense side of things, so Eric might be able to get a huge Metroplex attack into Starscream. So it's going to be pretty interesting here what Kevin evaluates as far as a better gig on what he wants to do. He's going for a treasure hunt. He's really, really digging, and he is just getting 4 actions. That is super, super unfortunate not being able to get anything. Kevin is definitely getting very unlucky here with getting any mining picks. Looks like he's going with a Force Field this turn, and now after seeing his opponent play a Bashing Shield, I still think that I would flip Starscream here to be able to get that mining pick out of the scrapyard. The Force Field's going to be able to protect him from a huge hit. Now there is a chance that he does happen to have 2 Bashing Shields, but every match that we've seen here, he's only really played 1, and I think he'd be protected from it. Let's see what happens here. That Flame War is going to get in, but it's not going to do enough damage. Eric's going to be drawing for the turn, getting his own Force Field as well as a work overtime, and we know he does have a backup beam in hand. Choosing to flip Scamper for the turn obviously allows Bold to be triggered for Metroplex, meaning he's probably going to be trying to go for a Metroplex hit here. He does have a height advantage giving Bold 4, and then does play a backup beam giving Bold 2. Now this was my previous conversation when I was talking about leaving Starscream open to a big hit, which would have been totally fine with the force field out there to have flipped for the turn. Looks like he is going to get the proc, which is going to do 1 damage to each character and tap them down, which is going to be very unfortunate for Kevin. Looks like he's getting a big amount of damage, but he's going into Flame War. And then the tough one off of Flame War that is going to be flipping all of the mining picks at this point. They should all be in the scrapyard now. Now it is going to be enough to KO Flame War. Again, huge hit from Metroplex. Now let's see. Technically that Starscream should be tapped down with Scamper being able to still get an attack. Let's see if they do. Yep, Kevin does straighten that out. Eric here is deciding if he wants to go for any green battle icon cards. Alrighty, Scamper's going to be going into Starscream here. Flipping actually quite a bit of oranges on this side of things. I think Kevin is going to be fine for at least taking maybe 1 or 2 points of damage. That force field is going to do a lot of work for him. It's going to essentially assure that he's going to be able to get 1 attack in even after a Metroplex goes in after him, unless he obviously gets a bashing shield. Alright, he does have 2 armor, which is going to be taking 3 damage, which is still good that it wasn't enough to be able to proc for that force field. That force field is still definitely a very active card and is a good card in this scene here. Let's see if he's able to draw anything. Now, we know he still has that master plan. The choice is going to be, does he want to attack into Scamper and get rid of Scamper and then have to 1v1 against the Metroplex? I think the problem is here is that he's just too far behind on board. The Metroplex only has 7 damage on him, which means he still has 28 left, meaning that Kevin's going to have to throw probably 2 or 3 really big Starscream attacks into Metroplex, and seeing as how he only has that master plan in hand, it's definitely going to be a very, very uphill battle. Now, it is also a possibility to play a Decepticon Crown as well, which does allow you to plan at least 1 when it comes to attacking. Not your greatest route to victory, but in those pinch situations when you're not getting enough things to plan, it is entirely possible to go for that play. Looks like Kevin is going for the master plan, which means he is going for a huge hit onto the Metroplex. I think that this is his only route to victory, is to be able to take down the Metroplex and just hope that he can survive an attack from Scamper and not take any damage. Obviously, he did go for a plan 2, putting 2 crowns on top, so that is going to be 15, 16 damage getting in against Metroplex, who did flip 2 blues, meaning he has 3 defense, taking 13 damage, sending him up to 20 damage total. We'll see if I got my math right. Kevin did swap a security checkpoint to be able to get a crown back. Good call. He's going to obviously need as many crowns as he possibly can get to be able to take out this Metroplex. Oh, it looks like Kevin did go into Scamper there. My apologies. He definitely made sure that he went for the KO for sure, getting a bunch of damage in there. Again, I just was talking about it previously. Is that this is going to be a very tough fight for him at this point. That was my bad. I definitely thought that he'd be going into the Metroplex. So let's see how this is going to pan out for him. Playing that work overtime is going to allow Eric to draw a few extra cards, dig a little deeper. Again, that card is really awesome in this deck. So if you are planning on building this deck, I would tell you to definitely put 3 copies of it into your list. You can find work overtime in the Devastator box set. Now, the one thing here, again, is that Kevin's going to have to deal with is that he does have to do 28 damage in a total of 1 attack, which is going to be very, very difficult, and I don't think I've ever hit those numbers with a Starscream. The force field there is going to definitely save him for a turn, but I don't know if he's going to be able to survive 2 attacks from a Metroplex. Now, we did not get the proc on Eric's side. It's actually pretty funny how the doubles he got on that flip set. Now, it is obviously going to be proccing the force field, which is going to put 4 damage on top of the Starscream, which is going to put him at 13 damage in total, leaving him with 2 health. Now, let's see what kind of attack Kevin can put together to possibly take out this Metroplex. Looks like he is swapping that for the sparring gear, probably hoping to play the sparring gear, which is obviously going to allow him tough 2 to hopefully be able to survive a big attack from Metroplex. He is going with the sparring gear. It's been super unfortunate for Kevin that he hasn't been able to get a mining pick. I definitely think that it is probably one of the things that is going to make him lose this match. Also, not getting a security console to be able to stack these crowns on defense is very, very, very unfortunate as well. You definitely have to have one or both of those cards to put yourself in a really nice situation. Starscream does need a little bit of support to be able to deal all the damage and prevent all the damage that he's able to do, and Kevin's just gotten super unlucky, and it's really unfortunate. Going with a ramming speed, breaking the backup beam, definitely one of the better thoughts. He's not going to be able to fight the force field here anyway, so him taking away the backup beam is hopefully removing the bowl 2 so he doesn't get a huge crackback from the Metroplex. Starscream's going to be getting in there for, I believe, 3 damage. It is 3 damage. That puts Metroplex up to 10, leaving him at 25 remaining. He's going to be swapping an improvised shield there for an escape route. Escape route's not going to be doing anything for Eric at this point, but putting the double orange in the scrap pile can possibly mean that he can get to the point where he has to reshuffle, and that does put him back in there. They are going to straighten for the turn. He's going to play another backup beam and a supercharge, which is going to be giving Bold 5 to the Metroplex. This is going to all but seal it in this match. It's going to be a lot of damage coming in here. Now, it looks like he did get the proc as well, which is going to do 1 damage directly to him, putting him at 14 damage, so it only has to do 1. Now, this is going to have to be an insane flip from Kevin, getting 3 double blues and a white, and even then, I don't know if it's going to be enough to survive. Looks like they are doing the math, and it is going to not be enough, and that is going to seal it for Eric. He's going to move on to the finals. This was an awesome, awesome match. Really, really loved it. Great players in the top 4. Great players who really showed up in the tournament. I'm not going to lie. I had an absolute blast. If you are watching and you did attend our tournament, thank you so, so much. I did have an awesome time. Now, after these last couple of videos, I'm going to do my thoughts on the tournament, the meta, and all of that stuff from there. So if you guys enjoyed this video, a like would be greatly appreciated. If you guys are enjoying this series, a like would also be appreciated. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you guys can join our awesome community here, and I'll see you guys in the next match.